Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Spooky Albums for Halloween season. This is day 12. Before we get started, I do want to show off brand new In the Prague Seat Mixtape Challenge t-shirt, hot off the presses. Some of my personal favorite mixtapes, albums. Okay, you got Camel Mirage, Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick. What else we got here? Gentle Giant, Octopus, Genesis, King Crimson. Yes, all the classics are on this particular shirt, so it's available through the link below at our merch site, as long as we got a metal-themed one, hard rock and metal-themed one as well. But back to the topic at hand. So here we've got day 12. All throughout the month of October, 31 days, I'm going to be picking out some cool albums that are perfect for Halloween season. Maybe the music is very spooky and creepy. Maybe the lyrical content is really spooky and creepy, horror film themes and all that sort of stuff. Today we got a cool one. Honestly, this is a new addition to my list here because up until very, very recently, I had never even heard this album before as I try to explore some krautrocky type stuff. Krautrocky. Simon Bray must have put me up to that. I haven't stumbled. I've heard about this band for a long time, and I've only quite dabbled in their music, but I picked this up real recently. This was released March of 1971 on the United Artists label. This is originally a double album, now on a pretty jam-packed CD. The third album from Amandul 2, Tanz der Lemming, otherwise known as Dance of the Lemmings. Some of you might be saying, Amandul 2, Krautrock, what does that have to do with Halloween and spooky music? Well, if you've never listened to this album, there's some pretty spooky shit going on this album. And if you look at the kind of the CD artwork, most of these shots out in the wilderness, right? I think there's another picture here of the band. This is kind of backwoods horror type music. Call it krautrock, call it progressive rock, call it avant-garde or space rock, psychedelic rock. I mean, just look at that cover, right? This is some pretty interesting stuff here. All right, I am fairly new to krautrock. There have been a couple of bands that I have been listening to for a long time, but there's a lot of bands that kind of fall into this sort of category, this thing we call krautrock, that I'm little by little starting to experiment with. Guru Guru, Amandul 2, Ashra Temple, that sort of thing. This is, I like this. This is some pretty chilling, interesting stuff. Of course, this was a double album, so there's a lot of music here. The original LP was comprised of all these different long movements. So on side A of the original LP, you had Sintelman's March of the Roaring 70s, which is more of kind of like a space rocky type thing, right? There's little bits of jazz rock going in there as well. I wouldn't say that really kind of fits the mold of what we're doing here, but as we kind of get into the rest of this album, specifically side B, which is a Restless Skylight, Transistor Child. Side C is Chasman's soundtrack. Side D is Chasman's soundtrack. A lot of long, extended improvisational freakouts, utilizing all sorts of weird instruments, and it's definitely chilling, unsettling music. Definitely different. It's definitely avant-garde, and man, I could totally see this being the soundtrack to some weird ass pagan horror or folk horror type film. I mean, that's kind of the feel you get from this music. And the album artwork and the CD or the stuff that's on the CD just totally fits the bill for kind of what you get here. We've got in the band, we've got Chris Carrere on electric and acoustic guitar, violin, a little bit of vocals. John Winsair on guitars and vocals and piano. Falk Rogner on organ and electronics. Lothar Mead on bass, double bass, a little bit of vocals. Peter Leopold on drums and percussion. And Karl-Heinz Hausmann on electronics, and he's also the sound engineer. We've got some guest stars on sitar and organ, vocals and things and what have you. But some of the little titles to some of the sections of some of these are pretty interesting. In the Glass Garden, Pull Down Your Mask, Prayers to the Silence, Telephone Complex, Landing in a Ditch, Dehypnotized Toothpaste, A Short Stop at the Transylvanian Brain Surgery, Race from Here to Your Ears, Little Tornadoes, Overheated TR, The Fly-Weighted Five, Riding on a Cloud, Paralyzed Paradise, H.G. Wells' Take Off, the Marilyn Monroe Memorial Church, Chewing Gun Telegram, Stumbling Over Melted Moonlight, and Toxological Whispering. Very bizarre stuff, really cool, really just out there music. And it's just weird, unsettling, and creepy enough at times where I thought, as I've been listening to this over the last week, I'm like, it'd be kind of really cool to slot this into my little spooky albums for Halloween season. Because I think, a lot of the krautrock stuff that I've heard that has that sort of just weird, dramatic, kind of a feel to it that I think lends itself to this time of year as well. So I'm going to include it here. So there you have it. You've got the third album from Amon Düül 2, one of the classic bands of the early krautrock scene, otherwise known as Dance of the Lemmings or Tanz der Lemming, if you want to say it in, I guess, my bad German, right? So there you have it, everybody. Thanks for watching. This is another episode of Spooky Albums for the Halloween season. More coming up. We got, like I said, we've got heavy metal, hard rock, extreme metal, more prog, all sorts of cool stuff coming up. So stay tuned for all of it. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're on YouTube all the damn time. Coming up tonight, of course, we got In the Prog Seat. So stay tuned for that. 1978, that's the year we're looking at, so we're going to be talking about our favorite prog and fusion albums from 1978. So you do not want to miss that, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Click on that notification bell. We've also got the link to our merch page below. We can get this and all sorts of other cool Sea of Tranquility things. The link to our Ko-Fi page if you want to make a channel donation, as well as the link to seaoftranquility.org, our webzine that is now celebrating 20 years on the internet. Thanks for watching. I am Pete Pardo. See you real soon. Bye-bye.